we came to the conclusion that in addition to technology, in addition to policy planning, we also have to look at the whole economic model as such. Is it actually fit to deal with the big challenge of climate change in the long run? Or is our economic system not targeted to only short-term solution, boom and bust, as we've heard at the conference? And is that the right model to deal with such a dramatic change, not only of behavior, but also of lifestyle, of technology, of everything? Is that economic system which we have fit to deal with this? We don't have the answer, but we think economics has something to do with it. And we also think that economics teaching has something to do with it, because all the economists which we're now educating in our universities and also schools are basically still being taught on the basis of economics books and economics curricula, which more or less were developed in the 1960s. So is that all enough to deal with the big issue of climate change? And in addition, of course, we had the big financial crisis of 2008, which I describe to my son as a sort of the world had a heart attack, and the doctors and all the governments and so on, they were pretty quick in dealing with a heart attack. The patient got stabilized. We have a sort of recovery, but what we have not had is a questioning what actually happened and what needs to be done. And if it would be the real life example, it would be the doctor would say, okay, you had a heart attack, you are now stable, but you have to look at your lifestyle and what can be done differently. And this we have not had. And here I see the INET conference as probably one of the first serious steps to ask these questions. What lifestyle do we have? And can we continue with this kind of lifestyle? And the third point which brought us to this, as I said, internationally we focus on China. And I think you only need to travel to China to see that a one-to-one translation of our economic model as it is currently implemented there can only go that far. We are already seeing cracks in the system internally in China with this whole migration internally, and if you don't have the growth of 8%, then the system is quickly at the edge of falling apart. So can that system survive? And if it continues at the same growth pattern with the pollution, with the internal migration, with the competition for resources, then China will become a crisis factor rather than a factor for saving, for finding solutions in the world. And for all these three things, for all these three reasons, financial crisis, climate change, the rise of China, we think we need to look at the economic model.